ahead and jump to the next page of notes. I need you guys to copy down the lesson and the objective. Our lesson is 8.4, multiplying special cases, and our objective is to find the square of a binomial and to find the product of a sum and difference. Square something, you just multiply it by itself. So a plus b times a plus b. So when we distribute or when we FOIL, this is going to be a times a times b, b times a, and b times b. F-O-I-L. The two first, the outsides, the insides, and the last. My first term is going to become a times a plus a times b plus b times a plus b times b. Okay, someone tell me, what is a times a? Anderson? A squared. A times b we're just going to leave as ab, so plus ab. B times a we're going to rewrite as ab. Because it doesn't matter which one you multiply first, it's still multiplication. And then b times b. Alan? B squared. If I told you we could simplify one more thing about this expression, what would it be? Maya?
AB.
Ah, what about it? 1ab plus 1ab would give us?
2AB.
2ab. Very good. So this is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Now, I want you guys, if you were able to follow me this entire time and understand every single thing that I did, I want you to give yourself a big pat on the back because this is our first proof ever, okay? We just proved this formula, a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. This is huge, okay? We are going to be using this formula in the future, okay? It makes this problem, which we normally would have to FOIL, super easy. Giancarlo, what's up? Can we add a squared and b squared?
No.
Why not? They have the same exponent. Roy?
Because there's a 1 for both of them. They don't have the same variables.
The variable's not the same. A is not the same as b. Do you see that, Giancarlo? If they were both a squared, then I agree. You could do 2a squared plus 2ab. But since there's a squared and b squared, they're not the same variable. Okay? Make sense? Okay. Go ahead and copy this down, guys. This is our key concept, algebra and examples. Need you to copy down the key concept, the algebra, and the examples. So our formula just got translated. Where did this formula come from? It came from right up here, what we showed in red, okay? A plus b squared equals a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. You guys have a minute and actually 2 minutes to copy this down. I'm plugging in a 4 with parentheses. So A, we're going to substitute in x, and B, we're going to substitute in 4. So this is a squared, so this is going to be x squared plus 2ab. So plus 2 times x times 4. And then plus b squared, so 4 squared. Alan, what's up? Where'd I get the what? Where'd I get the x? From where? 2ab. This portion, okay? We're substituting in this formula. So I put x in for a, and I put 4 in for b. Okay? We good? Carlos, what's up? 2. 4 to the power of 2. Okay, let's simplify this. X squared is just x squared. We can't simplify that. What about 2 times x times 4? Tessa? Very good. Plus 8x. And 4 squared, who's good with their squares? Carlos? Nope. Janessa? 16. 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, now we have a second formula, okay? We do have a second formula. And that formula exists for when it's a minus b, okay? That formula exists for when it's a minus b squared. And this is our formula. The only thing that changes is that it's a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. This is the only change in this formula, that minus sign, okay? So let's take x minus 3 squared. What's my a? X. What's my b? It's tricky. It's not negative 3. Notice how it's a minus b, right? It's already accounting for the minus in the formula, so b is actually positive 3, okay? It's already accounting for the minus in the formula. You see how this is a minus b? So b is just the positive portion of it. It's just the positive 3, okay? A is right here, and b is right here. Because if b was negative 3, right? This would be a minus negative 3. This would actually be a plus 3. Do you see that? So that wouldn't make sense. A would have to be positive 3. I'm sorry, b would have to be positive 3. Does that make more sense, Roy? Okay. So a equals x, b equals 3. Let's just use our formula. Wherever I see an a, I'm plugging in an x. Wherever I see a b, I'm plugging in a 3. So a squared is going to be x squared minus 2 times a, which is x, times b, which is 3, plus b, which is squared. Okay, x squared is just going to be x squared. That one stays the same. X squared. 2 times x times 3. Tessa? Good. Negative 6x. And then 3 squared? 9. Now, if we FOILed each of these, we would get the exact same answer, okay? So if this formula confuses you in 8.4 and you're like, oh, I was so good with foiling until now, FOIL is gonna be your best friend, okay? You can FOIL everything. FOIL is like your last resort. If you don't remember any of the formulas, you can always FOIL it. You can FOIL to check your answers. You can FOIL just to FOIL. You can FOIL no matter what, okay? All right, so for these next two examples, we are going to do both. We're gonna square these binomials by FOILing and by using the formula. And we're gonna see that we're gonna get the exact same answer, okay? Let's go ahead and take the first one. We've got x plus 8 squared, and we're gonna FOIL it. So we're just gonna write x plus 8 times x plus 8. And I'll give you guys a second to copy this all down. We do have to pick up the pace a little bit. I want to be done by peeps. What's my first arrow? Tessa? X to X. My second arrow? Yep. X to 8. My third arrow? 8 to X. And my last one? 8 to 8. So what we're going to get here is we're going to get x times x plus 8 times x plus 8 times x plus 8 times 8. X times x is what? Tessa? Mm-hmm. What's 8x plus 8x? Ashton? 8x plus 8x? These two. Nope. Why is it to the power 1, Maya?
It's to the power of 1 because the first part would be, it was doing like both, just ax plus, both ax plus ax, and then adding.
Very good. Since we're adding, when would we raise it to the second power? When we're multiplying, okay? When we're multiplying, then we add the exponents if we have the same base. And then plus, what's 8 times 8, people? 64. So this was FOIL, right? Let's see what happens when we use the formula, okay? Now, sometimes when we use the formula, it's not going to be super easy to remember, so just write it down. It was a plus b squared equals a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. It's easier, yeah. Way easier if you know the formula. So, x plus 8. What's my a? And what's my b? Plug it in. So, it's going to be x squared plus 2 times x times 8 plus 8 squared. I just plugged in an x for every a and an 8 for every b. So this is x squared plus what? Anderson? Plus? What do you notice? It's the same answer. Is that good? That's great, okay? If you get the same answer here as you do over here, whoops, that is awesome. Okay? You always want to have the same answer because the formula should just reinforce what the FOIL method already told us. Gucci? Okay. Let's do another one. Before we get started, why is this one a little bit different? Alan? Good. It's a minus sign, so it's going to be a minus b. What else is different? Angelina?
It's short,
What do you mean?
not a long equation.
Okay. It's squared, right? So we're going to use the squared formula. What else? There's one more difference. Roy? Ah, there's a constant next to the variable. It's 2m. Do you guys see that? It's not just a variable anymore. It's not just m minus 3. It's 2m minus 3. Okay? So let's keep that in mind when we're doing this problem. Let's FOIL it. 2m minus 3 times 2m minus 3. Yeah. FOIL it, 2m and 2m, 2m and negative 3 and 2m, negative 3 and negative 3. First, outside, inner, last. Two m times 2m. What do you think it is, Tessa? 4m squared. Good. How'd you get that?
Well, 2 times 3 is 4, and you're multiplying 2 times 2 of the same variable.
2 times 2 is 4, and when you're multiplying two of the same variable together, you get that variable squared. 2m times negative 3. Angelina. L. Nope.
Negative 5.
Close. Janessa, help her out. Good. Why? So we just multiply the numbers. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6, and we stick that m on there at the end. And then we've got minus 3 times 2m and minus 3 times negative 3. Anderson, negative 3 times 2m. And negative 3 times negative 3, Giancarlo. Positive 9. So this is 4m squared minus 12m plus 9. Okay, now we're going to check it with our formula. Remember, our formula is a minus b squared equals a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. And we have 2m minus 3 squared. What's my a? 2m. What's my b? 3. Wherever I see a, I'm going to put in 2m. Wherever I see b, I'm going to put in 3. So we've got a squared, so 2m squared, minus 2 times 2m times 3 plus 3 squared. What's 2m squared? m squared. Janessa? 4m. We're missing something. Squared. Okay? 4m squared. Because you squared the 2, right? But you didn't square the m. You always have to square both terms inside. Okay? Minus, what's that second term going to be? 12m and
Well,
plus 9. Did we get the same thing? Yes. Okay. We got 4m squared minus 12m plus 9. So we're gooch. We're good. Make sure you copy down the example as well. X plus 2 times x minus 2 will give us x squared minus 2 squared, a squared minus b squared, which is x squared minus 4. And then copy down the first two examples. X cubed plus 8, x cubed minus 8, and x plus 9, x minus 9. Okay, let's jump into the first one, okay? So we know that we have x cubed, 8, and 8. It follows the format a plus b times a minus b. In which case, what's my a here? X cubed. What's my b? 8. Plug it into our formula. We're just going to take it squared, a squared plus b squared. So we've got x to the third squared minus b, which is 8 squared. What's x to the third squared? Anyone? Anderson? X to the sixth minus 8 squared? 64. Now, if you were to FOIL, would we get the same answer? Yes, okay? If you were to FOIL, you would get the exact same answer, okay? All right, let's do the other one. X plus 9, x minus 9. What's my A? What's my B? Plug it in. It's going to be a squared minus b squared, x squared minus 9 squared, which is x squared minus 81. I did it fast, right? That's the purpose of these formulas. So instead of foiling, you could do this problem in like less than 30 seconds. Okay, so our formula says if we have a plus b times a minus b, right? That equals a squared minus b squared. So all I did, my a is x, my b is 9. So I plugged it into this formula, a squared minus b squared, x squared minus 9 squared, x squared minus 81. It's here to tell me what we're supposed to do in this case. Giancarlo.
4x times 3x and 4x times negative 7.
Excellent. Why? You can't explain it correctly. Who knows why we're doing this? Alan? FOIL. Very good. F-O-I-L. We just used the F. We just used the O. The I. Where should we draw our arrow from? and 2. Tessa?
It's gonna be the 1 and the 3.
Good. And the L? Yep.
So 4x and -7.
No. Maya?
The 1 and the -7.
Good. Why? What does L stand for in FOIL?
Yeah.
Do you remember, Maya?
It's last. Yeah.
Very good. The last two terms. So the last one on the right was the 1, right? The last one on, I'm sorry, the last one on the left is the 1. The last one on the right is the -7. Okay? All right, let's multiply these out. The 4 times 3x. Janessa, what am I going to get there?
4x squared.
Good. 4x times 3x will be 12x squared plus 4x also gets multiplied by what? Giancarlo.
-7.
Good. So 4x times -7. What do I get there?
-28.
Good. -28x. Angelina P. What's my next term?
1 times 3x. 1 times 3x.
Uh-huh. And that just becomes
3x.
3x. Gianni, what's my last term? Gianni.
Yes.
What's my last term? Let's go. Brioni, can you help me out?
So how do we simplify?
Nope, there's one more term. We're forgetting one term. We should have 4 in total. Anderson? -7. It's going to be +1 times -7. This is -7, -7. Okay? Guys, those of you that are not able to answer my questions, keep in mind, I keep note of that when I grade. Okay? If you have no idea what's going on, I know who you are. Okay? 12x squared. What do we simplify? Roy? Good. The -28x and the 3x, this becomes -25x and -7. How many of you got that? Good, good, good. How many of you were close, but you had like something really little off?
I forgot to simplify.
Oh, you forgot to simplify?
Yeah.
So remember, in these types of problems, most of the time, you're gonna have to simplify, okay? Alrighty then.